Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for day 2 of the LA Sevens. This match is a ninth place playoff game between South Africa and Wales. Now, at the moment, we know the stipulations for South Africa to win the World Series. They do need pretty much every other side to lose. Australia, Argentina, and Fiji. We'll keep you guys posted throughout the evening or the morning, depending on whereabouts you are currently here. 4:51 a.m. in New Zealand. This is a game that South Africa certainly want to come out and get themselves a massive win. It's going to be Makata, Oosthuizen, Murphy, De Preer, Van Wyk, Sawyers Wapi, the captain, and Adonis in the starting lineup for South Africa. Then for Wales, it is Shinanowski, Carson, Tom Brown, Trehan, Lloyd Lewis, Morgan Williams, and Swanek. I live in South Africa, says Germany, so you will certainly be hoping to see South Africa win this contest, but it is going to be the Uruguayan referee for this game. Going to try and move the light a little bit so that there we go. And hello, Hamish, World Rugby as such knobheads. They are not streaming day 2 of the action. Why don't they do that? I feel like it's really dumb that they do the first day as just a tease and then not do the second day so that people can find out how teams are going. I saw Spain were leading at halftime. Do they have it on their website rather than YouTube, Sebastian? Out of curiosity, because I know that sometimes it's on their website. Oh, that's a big kick, but they've done beautifully to keep that one alive, although it's bounced straight up to Trehan, and this will be the first try of the match for the Welsh. Dream start for Wales there. Trehan runs it in, so it was slapped back in by South Africa, and then from there, it just slapped straight into the hands of Trehan, and he ran it all the way. Brilliant start to the match. It is not what the Blitzboks would have been wanting. Well, Wales says, oh, yeah, brilliant start to the match. Similar to what we saw up against Wales and Scotland, we see the underdogs coming in with the first try. It was well slapped back by James Murphy. Unfortunately, though, didn't have anyone in support to be able to grab that regather. Instead, it was Luke Trehan who goes in and manages to get himself that first try. So great start, like I mentioned, for Wales. South Africa, though, they are certainly still in the hunt. Not sure, but your commentary is always there to save me, says Sebastian. Oh, that's a very wonky kick. Looks like my ones that I tried before the weekend, but now kickoff for this game. It is 5-0. And are you going to cover the Kenya versus Australia match? We certainly are. We are covering all the quarterfinals. This game, it is the 9th place playoff game, but they do have to play another 2 matches to finish 9th. South Africa, the stipulations, we will read them off at halftime. But if Australia make the final, they are the Australia World Sevens champions. So that's all they want. They have to, first of all, beat Kenya. Then they will have to beat whoever they come up against in the semi-final. But Branca de Preer about to throw this ball in for South Africa inside of the 22. They have a little bit of space to go before they get to the try line. Makata, once again, a loose ball. Seems like something's not quite clicking for South Africa. And I think I'm going to go straight back to what I mentioned near the start of the series. No Selvin Davids at number 8 is absolutely huge for the Blitzboks, as he just seems to be able to propel that backline to its next level. But now, nice work from Van Wyk, gives it off to the captain. Saviri Sawyers Wapi, nice footwork there, but he's dragged down by Lloyd Lewis, and now becomes a penalty in favour of the Blitzboks. Branca de Preer keeps this one alive, wants to get it going relatively quickly here for South Africa. They've got plenty of stamina. That is for Joran Murphy. Cut him through the gap. He's just lost his footing on the halfway line. Now back in, Darren Adonis goes across to Branca de Preer, one of the veterans of the 7th circuit, although he has done a pass that has found the ground. Now bounced up to Saviri Sawyers Wapi, dragged down by Williams. Adonis goes back across to big man Makata in the midfield, trying to get through those defenders, but another good tackle made by Wales. They haven't missed too many throughout this match, and that is certainly helping them. That is going to be 2 tackles missed, and all of a sudden now the South Africa almost able to go through. Darren Adonis takes it down. Now Murphy gives it off to Makata. They're only 15 metres out. Now the Blitzboks. Murphy goes down again. Good face play here. That's going to be knocked down, but it's bounced down to Darren Adonis, inside ball to Oosthuizen. And he goes in for the first try of the match now for South Africa. And if Australia beat Kenya, they're pretty much champions. Hard for Argentina and Fiji to catch up with them on the table, says Sebastian. So yeah, Australia 3rd and Argentina don't win. Australia are series champions. Argentina win and Australia don't medal. Argentina becomes series champions. So if Argentina make it to the final and win, and Australia don't get themselves 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, then Argentina are the winners, and then Fiji win if Australia don't medal. And also, I believe that would have to be beating Argentina as well. They must play off in the semi-final, I would assume, which is how Fiji can overtake Argentina. Wow, everyone's shanking the kicks today. It's still 5-5 between these two sides. Sitting 3 minutes 20 left on the board now. South Africa have not won a medal since winning the 4 first events this season. Unfortunately, that was almost when we saw the likes of Fiji, New Zealand, etc. making their way back onto the series circuit. So they have struggled a little bit since that time. They are certainly a class side. We just saw them win the Commonwealth Games gold medal now. Sefebe Soyuz-Wapi trying to carve his way through. Morgan Williams, the ball bounces out loose and it's on the side of Wales now. And you'd have to say Wales to be still 5-5 in this contest is very impressive with how far we thought they were going to be behind. And it's a great step now. Rehan gets the pass over the top. They managed to score the try earlier on. It's brilliant offloading game from Wales here. And Morgan Williams, it's going to be a chase, but he is going to make it all the way. And now Wales take the lead over the South Africans again. 10 points to 5 with a kick to come. And this time Morgan Williams' second try of the LA Sevens. And once again, South Africa, they are under pressure now. They came in as about $7 underdogs. Wales, they are certainly playing like favourites at the moment. They're very good in the breakdown, ripping that ball away. Got sick of having to defend 15 phases like they almost had to last time South Africa had the ball. So stripping it early, and then Morgan Williams is just enough toe to be able to outpace that South African defence. Ryan Osterhuizen making the angle a little bit harder for the kick. So if this misses, it's paid off. And it has indeed, because he has missed it away to the right. So the score remains 10 points to Wales and 5 to South Africa. So the step-by-step of how South Africa can win the series from here pretty much involves they just have to make sure that they're winning their games from here on out, get themselves into 9th, and then pretty much just sit there and hope that it doesn't go the way of Australia, Argentina, or Fiji. And Blitzboks won't be too worried. They blew the whole thing away, or they blew the whole thing anyway. So here's a bash, a nice pass off now. It's going to be good backline movement from the Welsh once again. It's Tom Brown. That's close, and they have been able to turn it over there. Not releasing penalty goes the way of Darren Adonis. Tupurea takes it quickly. 50 seconds left of the first half now. Makata slings it off to the left, trying to step his way through. It's Van Wyk. No Sean Williams in the starting lineup, or Devald Human, or in fact, Angelo Davids, JC Pretorius, or Zane Davids. South Africa, you'd have to say maybe did they take Wales a bit lightly looking at the lineup they've gone with here, but it will also give a few of those guys a bit more game time before they head into Cape Town. Now Murphy slings it wide. Nice pass off to Ryan Oosthuizen, who cuts through too. And then that was kind of like one of those old school trips from primary school, as someone goes down on all fours and then the other person pushes him. And now it's a nice chip over the top. Sefebe Soyuz-Wapi waited for the bounce, but it's set up absolutely terrifically for Trajan. Sometimes the bounce of your ball, or the ball, just doesn't quite go your way, and that is what Sefebe Soyuz-Wapi just found out. 1 second left on the clock. If I was Wales, I would be tapping this and kicking that ball straight into touch, as they are still inside of their own half. Although if they score another try now, it could actually give them just enough of a lead, but I would think more than likely better options just to tap it, kick it out, and that is what they've done. Definitely with Trajan still down with a bit of an injury, but halftime in this contest, 10 points to Wales, 5 to South Africa. So the question is, can South Africa fire back? Let me know in the chat if you think that they will be able to do so, and who will be the game changer off the bench for South Africa. For me, JC Pretorius is always one, whether he's starting or finishing a match, he can completely change one. And actually, I'm going to say, Angelo Davids went from scoring a whole heap of tries to not really getting too many opportunities throughout this competition. So I'll go Sean Williams as the other player if it isn't JC Pretorius, who could have big impact. Plus, speaking of big, Zane Davids still got an opportunity to come off the bench and try and turn it around. But we saw 22 passes completed from from South Africa, only the 3 from Wales. Yet in those 3 passes and those 6 carries, they've been able to set up 2 tries. And I go with JC2. Here's Sebastian. And also tackles made. Wales made 11. They've missed 5. So all of the stats would suggest that they'd be about maybe down by 10 points at this stage. But they are winning. They have got themselves a 10-5 lead. I'm trying to listen to the Welsh coach, but I think he's swearing, so they've kind of turned the microphone down a little bit. And Hamish, why not covering India versus Pakistan? Pakistan on top in the match. India are 53 for 3. Need another 96 from 11 overs. Mainly the reason behind not covering that was because I did need to sleep at some stage. And if I covered that game, I would have had to get up a lot earlier. And we wouldn't have been able to cover this one as it would have overlapped. Plus, it would have overlapped with a couple of the quarterfinals. That is the reasoning behind that one. Currently, we've got 12 minutes and 20 seconds until we see Australia taking on Kenya. Just going to be absolutely awesome. Then Fiji play the USA. Home field advantage for the US. But Fiji, they've still got that passion and they want to take out a possible gold medal. In the last match of the quarterfinals, we will see New Zealand play Ireland. And also in the middle there, it is Samoa taking on Argentina. Angelo Davids, he has made his way out there. I see that James Murphy still on the park, and he is about to lift Angelo Davids up if the ball goes to him. Going to be kicked off here by Wales, and that will be Cole Swanwick. We'll have the opportunity to kick this one off for the Welsh. Goes high to the left-hand side. It's drifting quite nicely, and David's taking it now. There'll be a double blow of the whistle, and there'll actually be a yellow card here. They did mention how they've slightly changed the rules a little bit in this competition, which is if you jump up and you're not in a clear position to be able to get the turnover or win the ball back in the air and you take out the opposition, it is a direct yellow card. We saw it in the last game between Spain and Scotland, and now Brown has got himself one in this one as well. And India are smart with the Asian Cup. They removed England, Australia, and New Zealand so they can finally win something, says Sebastian. And who are the favourites to win this World Sevens for you? All Blacks versus Wallabies or Springboks? I think Fiji. Springboks cannot win at this point in time as they have the best option of getting 9th out of all of the sides. Now, nice pass. That's a nice bit of play from Van Veek. Perfectly picking a gap. Now Makata goes off to Darren Adonis. Ball on the outside to Angelo Davids. No, he's put into touch by Lloyd Lewis. Brilliant one-on-one defence there from the Welsh winger. That's the thing, Angelo Davids, he can pick a gap even when a gap's hardly even there. So Lloyd Lewis to be able to get that shot on, actually just got him straight around the midsection. Didn't go too low, didn't go too high, just using his weight to push Angelo Davids into touch. Now 5 meters out. Wales have only defeated South Africa once before, and it was in Glasgow 2012. So it's been quite some time, and it's going to be an offside penalty against the Blitzboks. Wales once again, which is why, in a way, you wonder how Wales were only $7 underdogs rather than being a little bit higher. But we're starting to see now maybe that's why they were a little bit closer out of the two. Now it's going to be kicked into touch from Wales. A good clearing kick, and now 45 metres out from their own line, they will have themselves the line out. Still 5 minutes left on the clock. 20 seconds left of Tom Brown's yellow card. So currently, if Wales can use up the rest of the time that is left on the clock of the yellow card, and I'll say, as correct, buddy, Asia Cup doesn't contain much competitive teams except India and Pakistan. So he's coding, nice throw in there. Almost stolen by James Murphy on the ground. Rehan goes back across now for Wales. Use it a big, oh, he's knocked out. He's knocked out. They're going to have to stop the game. That doesn't look too good. I think Branko Dupre has gone to Sleepingville. In fact, it's Darren Adonis. It's never good when a man's on his back and his arms are just reaching up like he's one of those inflatable men outside of a car dealership, which is exactly what Adonis had. He's getting a tap on the knee from the Welshman, who is a bit concerned with his safety, so we may have a bit of a stoppage here. Wales are playing tonight. They certainly are. And if they do end up winning this game, they will move on to a semi-final, and then they'll have one more. I'm taking Cody on just Salty and Misrule after India on both the ODI and T20 series against England. Says Sebastian, and what TV program is this on? So for us in New Zealand, it's Sky Sport 1, but I believe it would be Sky Sports UK. I'm not too sure of the channel, though, unfortunately, for you guys. And if you are in Wales, that is, maybe. And I was, hello, I have arrived, says Ollie, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Darren Adonis, he has stayed down quite some time. They've got a stretcher out there just to make sure that that man is going to be okay. Like I mentioned, some of the other games may get a little bit rearranged depending on how long it is. Come on, Cymru. Hopefully I say that correctly. I feel like I say that slightly wrong. Holly Wales is winning. Come on, Wales, says Ollie. there as well. Team U's top 7 of 9 results for the final series standings. And come on, Wales, let's make history. Yeah, last time Wales were able to defeat South Africa, it was in the Northern Hemisphere. It was actually in Glasgow, Scotland, and that was in 2012. So it's been quite some time since we have seen them get that chance. I'm just going to quickly check to see what time my live stream is scheduled for the sevens between the other two sides, between Kenya and Australia, just to make sure that we're not going to have an overlap, or I might have to change it, I should say. No, that's the wrong one. Go down to here. It is in 3 minutes. Okay, we're gonna have to change that slightly. One moment, we're just gonna go like this. It's just a little delay with the injury. We'll go down to Kenya's one. We'll make that 5:15. There we go. There we go. Right, we have fixed that one. Hopefully all of the other ones run as smoothly as we hope, and there are no other injuries for the players. And South Africa, has the Blitzboks even landed in LA yet, says Ethan? It's a great question because we haven't really seen them really fire. They're just showing after Sevilla and after Singapore, South Africa were on 98 points. Then we had another leg after Vancouver, 111 points, but slowly Argentina and Australia started catching them on the rankings. And then it was that next leg after Toulouse that Argentina were able to move themselves into first place, and it's pronounced Cymru. I'm serious, my source is a Welshman. Okay, so it's Cymru. Thank you very much for that help, because, yeah, my pronunciation of Welsh words, to say the least, would be shocking, I would think. At the moment, after London, there are 4 teams that could win it. Fiji need a miracle. South Africa now need a miracle for them not to be knocked off that number 1 spot. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see whether or not it is the case. So Fiji win and Australia don't medal. Fiji become series champions. Argentina win and Australia don't medal. Argentina become the series champions. And Argentina, if they don't win and Australia finish 3rd, Australia are the series champions. So there you go. All of the stipulations. Any other scenario, which means if Australia, Fiji, and Argentina all get knocked out at the quarterfinals, so the upcoming matches, Samoa would have to win, Kenya would have to win, and also in the other game, USA would have to win. If they all manage to win those games, South Africa will still have a chance of being their series champions. Neil Powell having a clap there for Darren Adonis. Hopefully that man is all right. It did look like he got knocked unconscious. They didn't actually show a replay, so I'm not sure whether it was a bit of friendly fire from one of his teammates or maybe a knee of a Welshman that might have struck him on the jaw. I know the pronunciation from a Welsh mate, says Sebastian. So they have got the cart out there. Luckily, the ground in LA is relatively solid, because one of those carts, you'd think that it would just suck into the ground, wouldn't you, if it was a rainy day? Right, he's being taken off the field. DeWalt Human, they have said, is actually also out with an injury. And how long's left, says Ollie? There is still 4 minutes, 44 seconds. And come on, Wales, fingers crossed. South Africa are quite a good side. I'm not sure, says Halloween. Yeah, that's the thing. South Africa, they only need half a moment to be able to get back into a contest, and that will be their goal. But now Darren Adonis taken off the field. South Africa, they are back to the 7 men. Anyone speak Welsh in the chat? Says Ollie, I know for a fact that I do not, as I would probably butcher 90% of the words in Welsh. Seems like South Africa, they've still got a decent amount of support, but now it is going to be, it's actually a quick tap for South Africa, which is interesting because Wales had the ball at that point in time. So I guess they've gone since they had the injury. Right, there's a knock on anyway, so I guess that kind of counters it. Interesting. I swear Wales did have the ball before that contact, and that's why they did the double blow of the whistle. But they decided to give South Africa the quick tap. So maybe it was just because, not sure. Normally in football, if that happens, you take it and you kick it straight back to the goalie. And where's Fletcher when you need him? Did South Africa need to achieve a particular position, or doesn't it matter? And purely hope Australia don't medal and neither Argentina or Fiji win, says Ethan. So if South Africa were in the top 8, it would have been a whole different story for them. But because they're outside of that top 8 now, pretty much it's all about relying on Argentina, Australia, and Fiji to all lose in the quarterfinals. But we'll keep you guys updated with how it does develop. South Africa, at best, though, if they get themselves 9th, they'll get a few points on the board, which may help them out. Right, that almost looked like a kicking attempt there from, I believe that was the number 12 off the bench, Muller Duplessis. Now, Ryan Oosterhuizen tries to jump over the ball. It's great work there from Wales, but even better work from the Blitzboks. It's a big shot there, and it's going to be the knock-on against South Africa. I believe JC Pretorius or Oosterhuizen it was who got absolutely nailed over the top of the breakdown. And I'm proud of Wales, though. I'm proud Welshman, no matter what happens. And yeah, and also, yeah, I've got the other laughing face from Ollie there as well. But 3 minutes 20 left on the clock, still in favour of the South Africans, or sorry, in favour of the Welsh. At this point in time, Oosterhuizen, JC Pretorius, perfect timing on that shot. I believe that would have been the number 3, Sinialski, whose name I still can't say. Someone probably threatened the team. Don't know any other explanation, says his Bok. And yeah, I was hearing from someone earlier on, I think it might have actually been on our Discord server, and they were saying that this is one of the worst weekends for South African sport that they can think of. Because when you think about it, the Springboks lost, the Proteas lost, the under-20s rugby lost, and the Sevens have been knocked out before the quarterfinals. So it hasn't exactly been a great week for South Africa in all sport across the board. But next week, I think South Africa are going to be able to fire back a bit more up against the Aussies in the Rugby Championship. Now Wales have got this ball. It's going to be a big kick downfield. Lloyd Lewis likes his chances of being able to stop this one, but it does go straight. Now, it does have a bounce, though, so it doesn't mean they have to go back. Wales, they are questioning the tactics in the commentary booth, saying maybe that wasn't the best choice to give South Africa the ball back round halfway. It gives Wales a massive chance to make a good result for us. Says Halloween there. I guess Halloween only about a month away. And heard under 18 lost 2, says Nazi Williams. Oh, so that's another one I didn't realise had a loss. I knew that the under 20s, were they the ones who had the loss up against, who were they playing? Were they playing Wales, the under 20s, or France? Maybe now passing it across. Muller Duplessis, nice little overlap wrap around here. Angelo Davids, good tackle by Lloyd Lewis. He has been able to shut down Angelo Davids extremely well, which is exactly what you need when you've got a dangerous winger in the form that Angelo Davids is. Good run from Ryan Oosterhuizen. Quite a bit of size in the way that he does run at the line. Now Graham gets over the ball. It's going to be placed on the Welsh side. Now Lloyd Lewis, good low tackle made on him. Almost taken straight back, but Wales now have a 10 metres out from their line. It's a fight out there on the field at the moment between these two sides. Both want it, and only one can win. Now, going short side, good footwork there from Williams. One more on the outside. Lloyd Lewis considers kicking, and he does just that. Now goes on the inside. It's a foot race. Lloyd Lewis, he's normally pretty speedy. He's just knocked over the South African player. He waits for it to sit up Wales. Oh, I think he's butchered it. I don't think he's got that one down, Lloyd Lewis. Added to the list, does he? And the South African complaining this whole weekend, says Young. And under 18 lost to France. And they can always resort to braai therapy. Hey, Sebastian, yeah, nothing wrong with a good braai from what I've heard. I don't think Lloyd Lewis got this one down. Nope, he dropped it. So he did all of the hard work. Then he tried to be fancy and finish it one-handed rather than just grabbing both, putting it down and saying that's the game. Instead, now there's a chance for South Africa. Wait, who nearly scored? It was Lloyd Lewis of Wales who was almost able to get it over. But gotta love the South has worked with a couple humble blokes like Kiwis, says Nazi Williams. So it will be a 5-metre scrum now in favour of South Africa. There's a minute left on the clock. Under 18 beat England. Unbeaten for the entire competition, says Esbok there. And oh, you're joking, says Ollie. There's unfortunately, he did end up putting that ball down. Just the worst thing, like I mentioned, he did all the hard work. He managed to get the grubber forward, then the grubber forward again, and then it just went straight down out of the hand. But the Blitzboks, 40 seconds left on the clock. They're only a couple inches out from their line. Now they've actually been forced back into their own in-goal area. It looks like it's risky. It's going to be a 5-metre scrum for Wales. Brilliant work by the big man there at number 2. I believe that was Garen Rees. Was able to work hard, keep the Springboks off the ground, and then force them back. And what a pickle, says Ollie. And there's, although they have now got the ball with only 15 seconds left, so all they need is to win the scrum. And you think they'll be able to stall for long enough to then just tap this ball into touch. And that will mean that South Africa will be playing off for, at best, 11th in this week. That is absolutely massive. And cheers all, let's go Wales, says David the Mod there. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Nice early morning start for us guys in New Zealand for this one. A woohoo. And Wales should win that from here. Says G2 Geeks. It goes in. It's knocked back, and that is put into touch. Wales beats South Africa for the first time in a decade. 10 points to 5. Massive win for the Welsh. But what we are going to have to do, we cannot stick around too long because we do go straight over to our next live stream, which is going to be Kenya taking on Australia. So I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in about a minute's time for Kenya versus